outbreak of gastroenteritis has been reported in many states in Nigeria. Sokoto State is one of them. What is the current situation and what is being done to curb the spread? This and more on Panorama, coming to you from Sokoto Network Center. I am Asmao Habibu Shagadi. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has called on authorities across the African continent to take the right policy actions towards actualizing the African Continental Free Trade Area, which the Vice President notes offers limitless opportunities for the industrialization of Africa. Vice President Osinbajo stated that such actions include the protection of local industries and improving value chain. This was contained in a message delivered this Thursday at a roundtable on industrialization in Africa themed Positioning African Industries for Economic Transformation and Continental Free Trade, organized by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria.
We must ponder on how industrial policy will benefit from the African Continental Free Trade Area. For certain, the free trade agreement itself is indispensable if industrial development is to take off in Africa, because it offers wider markets and economies of scale, which are essential for manufacturing to be competitive. So the crux of my message today is that we must take policy actions to create an environment in which business can thrive. To start with, we must adopt the right type of macroeconomic and industrial policies. It's important for African governments to provide a stable macroeconomic environment. I call on AU member states to ratify and implement the Protocol on Free Movement of Persons, Right of Residence, and Right of Establishment.
Federal and state governments have expressed overwhelming support for an initiative by the African Development Bank to create special agro-industrial processing zones through public-private partnership. The program aimed at developing priority value chain through developing infrastructure in rural areas will focus on finishing and transforming raw materials and commodities. Justin Ben Anyi reports.
At a high-level briefing session, Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, who hosted the meeting, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to put in place enabling policies and incentives to attract private sector investment in the zones to ensure successful implementation. Participants, which include representatives of the African Development Bank Group, the International Fund for Agricultural Development (IFAD), and the Islamic Development Bank, provided progress updates on the scheme following their consultations with key stakeholders within the public and private sectors. The AFDB confirmed that it is in collaboration with other development partners, mobilizing $520 million to co-finance the first phase of the program in Nigeria and implementation in phases across the 6 geopolitical zones. Director General of the African Development Bank's Nigeria Country Department, Lamin Barrow, said the zones would be rolled out in 18 African countries, including Nigeria. The Nigeria Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone program consists of 4 mutually reinforcing components: infrastructure development and agro-industrial hubs management, agriculture productivity and production, policy and institutional development, and program coordination and management. The federal government confirmed that all 36 states in Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory would be eligible to participate in the SAPS program. In addition to the Federal Capital Territory and 7 states, Kaduna, Kano, Kwara, Imo, Cross River, Ogun, and Oyo participating in Phase 1, several other states have indicated interest in the SAPS program. These include Bauchi, Lagos, Niger, Jigawa, Ekiti, Lagos, Taraba, Benue, Sokoto, Ondo, Nasarawa, Gombe, and Kogi. Special Agro-Industrial Processing is a flagship initiative of the African Development Bank's Feed Africa strategic priority that aims at providing end-to-end solutions and services that de-risk production, processing, and marketing operations of private sector actors as they boost manufacturing and transformation capacity in production areas. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Minister of Health Dr. Osagi Ehanure has assured Nigerians that efforts are ongoing to bring to an end the industrial action by resident doctors. The minister stated this at the inauguration of Southwest Traditional Leaders Committee on Primary Healthcare under the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency. Femi Afariogun reports that the inauguration was held at Oni's Palace in Ile-Ife, Osun State.
The Southwest Traditional Leaders Committee on Primary Health Care is an answer to the prayers of National Primary Health Care Development Agency to further improve the country's healthcare system.
We are therefore looking forward to benefiting from your enormous influence in the communities to change positively the primary healthcare indices in the Southwest zone.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Osagi Ehanure, disclosed that a standard primary health center will be built and made functional, each in all states across the Southwest as a model, and the location will be decided by the committee.
The first and the greatest battle which we have to fight, Your Royal Majesty, is a battle against ignorance, which is responsible for furthering many diseases. Our primary healthcare centers are going to be platforms to educate, enlighten, and build awareness among the people.
He gave an assurance that frantic efforts are on to end the industrial action by resident doctors. The chairman, Southwest Traditional Leaders Committee on Primary Healthcare, and also Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enito Ogunwusi, commended the federal government for the initiative. Oni appealed to resident doctors to call off the strike, noting that this is not the best time as Nigeria is currently battling with COVID-19 pandemic.
Again, to appeal to you that you should step in further. For the doctors, it's by their side to go back to work. You know you're doing your best with your entire team.
The event was attended by representatives of WHO, UNICEF, and other stakeholders in the health sector. From Ile-Ife, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Director General Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Dr. Chikwe Ihekwezu, has been appointed Assistant Director General of the World Health Organization, WHO, in charge of health emergency intelligence. The WHO Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, said Ihekwezu will lead the work on strengthening pandemic and epidemic intelligence globally. Basi Ita has the report.
Dr. Chikwe Ihekwezu, whose new appointment takes effect from November 1st, 2021, will also lead the work on strengthening pandemic and epidemic intelligence globally, including heading the WHO Hub for Pandemic and Epidemic Intelligence in Berlin. Dr. Tedros expressed confidence that his new appointment will help further accelerate WHO work in health emergencies. Dr. Chikwe is currently the Director General of Nigeria Center for Disease Control. He was trained as an infectious disease epidemiologist and has over 20 years' experience working in senior public health and leadership positions in several national public health institutes, including the South African National Institute for Communicable Diseases, the United Kingdom's Health Protection Agency, and he has led several short-term engagements for WHO, mainly in response to major infectious disease outbreaks around the world. Dr. Chikwe is a Nigerian national who was born in Germany. He is a graduate of the College of Medicine, University of Nigeria, and he has a Master in Public Health from Heinrich Hensch University, Germany. In 2003, he was awarded a fellowship for the European Program for Intervention Epidemiology Training and subsequently completed his public health specialization in the United Kingdom. Bati Taikman, NTA News.
6 trillion naira has been allocated to the Niger Delta Development Commission in the last 19 years with very little to show for the investment. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this in his message to the submission of the forensic report on the NDDC, which the Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami received on his behalf. Femi Okoyo has the report.
Sometime in October 2019, governors of the Niger Delta region visited President Muhammadu Buhari, bemoaning the large number of abandoned projects of the Niger Delta Development Commission. At that time, they thought the abandoned projects numbered between 9,000 to 10,000 projects. This was what subsequently led the federal government's composition of a forensic audit team, which has now revealed to Nigerians that there are 13,077 NDDC projects abandoned in all the 9 oil-producing states of the country. President Buhari, in his message, pledged that his government will use this report as a turning point for the people of the Niger Delta area and Nigerians generally.
The government is also concerned with the multitude of Niger Delta Development Commission's bank accounts amounting to 362 and lack of proper reconciliation of the accounts.
Minister of Niger Delta Affairs reiterated the commitment of government to removing the various forms of impediments to the development of the region.
The intention of this exercise is not to wish on anybody or any organization. The intention has always been to correct the wrongs of the past.
A team of 16 forensic auditors had been commissioned by the federal government to dig into the activities of the NDDC since its formation in 2000. Because of the security implication of the audit, the federal government also raised a joint security team to give the auditors cover anywhere they went. In Abuja, Femi Okoyo, NTA News.
Panorama continues in a moment. Don't go away.
The vaccine offers hope for a safe country free of coronavirus. I urge all state governments, traditional and religious leaders to take the lead in the mobilization effort within their environment and spheres of influence. I similarly urge all eligible Nigerians to present themselves and be vaccinated in accordance with the order of priority already mapped out at the various authorized designated centers only.
Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has confirmed 631 new cases of COVID-19 as of Thursday, 2nd of September 2021. A breakdown shows that Lagos State is topping the table with 172 cases, followed by Oyo, 93, Rivers, 72, Edo, 63, Katsina, 29, Abia, 26, while FCT and Kano have 23 cases each. Others are Bayelsa and Ogun have 20 cases each, Ekiti 18, Anambra and Delta have 16 cases each, Osun 14, Imo 11, Benue 6, Enugu 4, while Jigawa and Niger have 2 cases each and Nasarawa has 1 case. This brings the total number of cases recorded in the country to 193,644, with 179,294 treated and discharged and 2,488 deaths recorded. Sokoto State Government has procured drugs worth 87 million naira for onward distribution to 23 local government areas as part of efforts to curb the spread of gastroenteritis. The drugs were presented to the local government councils at a brief ceremony held in Sokoto. Sheikh Muhammad Deti reports.
Recently, many local governments in Sokoto State were hit by gastroenteritis, and many lost their lives to the epidemic. Following the outbreak of the gastroenteritis, Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol directed the State Ministry for Local Government Affairs in collaboration with the State Ministry of Health to purchase drugs and distribute them to local government councils with a view to treating those affected by the epidemic. It is in line with the directives that these drugs were purchased and presented to the local government councils for use in primary health centers and hospitals.
These drugs are meant for the outbreak of gastroenteritis that is currently going on in the state, and we hope that this medication will go a very long way in addressing the outbreak that we are saving lives as well.
It was the local government chairman that went to His Excellency and complained to him about this issue, and he promised to provide a consignment for them. So if they allowed anybody to misuse the drugs or do anything of that matter, they will be held responsible.
The local government councils are to use the drugs to treat those that have contracted gastroenteritis free. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
And now to our discussion segment, which is going to be on gastroenteritis, efforts to curb the spread in Sokoto State. And I have with me in the studios Dr. Abdurrahman Ahmad, who is the Director of Public Health, State Ministry of Health. Doctor, you're welcome to Panorama.
Yeah, viewers, happy listening.
The outbreak of gastroenteritis was reported in many states in Nigeria, Sokoto State inclusive.
Yes.
So what is the current situation now?
So the current situation is very true. Many states, at least 22 states, are affected in the country. Mm-hmm. Sokoto has been battling with gastroenteritis since January, like some few other states. To date, from January cumulatively to September 3rd, 2021, Sokoto recorded 6,106 cases with 242 deaths and 5,864 people discharged or currently on admission. Mm. We are seeing decline in cases since late August, late last month. Cases has started declining. Now we have very few LGS that are active, and even those LGS that are active, the number of mortalities per day is drastically reducing. Mm. We are recording days with no mortality, which is not the case a few weeks ago. So even the number of cases, highest cases we have now is 16 in Yabu LGA. So most of the LGAs are having very scanty numbers. So I think generally I can see in this Sokoto we are winning the game. The fight is not yet over since the rainy season is still on. Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so what can you say are the contributing factors to the spread of gastroenteritis?
So the major contributing factor actually is opundification, which is the case in Nigeria general and some other African countries. So Sokoto not exclusive. We have poor personal and environmental hygiene, and also the habit of people digging wells as a source of water without having a platform or raising the mouth of the wells. So, or using ponds and ditches as source of water, and with opundification, those body of water can get contaminated and the disease spread. At the same time, we're having person-to-person transmission, where we advocate to people during outbreaks, stop visitation. But still people are visiting, they are sick, and that is why we are having it. This community is infected, people from the remote community coming to visit people, they get the organism and go back to their distant communities and started spreading it. So these are the main contributing factors that we are seeing to the outbreaks in the state.
Okay, so what is being done to further curb the spread of gastroenteritis?
Yeah, From January to date, Sokoto has been doing a lot. Part of the measures are social mobilization and community engagement to create awareness as to what this gastroenteritis is about, how it is transmitted, how it is prevented. All these have been on since January to this time. And drugs and medicaments are also supplied since January to this moment. The largest consignment was supplied about 2 weeks ago, where all the 23 LGAs were supplied with large quantum of medicaments free of charge to the people. So that before that, we have central supplies where every LGA, based on their report, we push drugs to them. And similarly, aside the case management, we do prophylaxis, where all those exposed to the affected people, we give them prophylaxis, which is to kill the organism in them before they start manifesting symptoms. In Sokoto, it helps us a lot because I'm sure without those prophylaxis, the number of cases and the mortalities we have will have been more than double. So those prophylaxis, when we give within 2-3 days, we curtail the situation.
Okay, so Doctor, before I allow you to go, what should the members of the public do to protect themselves from infection?
So honestly, our biggest advice is to stop open defecation. Once open defecation is stopped, this gastroenteritis will be history, because it's people taking it, they will defecate and the organism will go into the water or food. So then stop visiting the sick during outbreak, any outbreak of any nature. Stop visiting. Improve environmental and personal hygiene. Wells we should raise their mouths at least a feet so that rainwater will not go into that. And then if we have ditches as such of water, we boil them before we use. So these are the general advice to public. And once somebody develops symptoms, please let's rush to the nearest hospital. We don't have to rush to teaching hospital or major hospital. Nearest hospital. The first aid can be given before anything.
Okay. We thank you so much, Doctor, for having the time to be on Panorama this afternoon. Okay. I have been talking with Dr. Abdurrahman Ahmad, who is the Director of Public Health, Sokoto State Ministry of Health. And moving on, the curtain of the 2020 Paralympics Games will be officially drawn Sunday at the Olympic Stadium in Japan. Sports correspondent Femi Johnson reports that Nigeria has concluded 3 out of 4 sporting events. Some officials and athletes reflect on Tokyo 2020.
Tokyo 2020 has no doubt lived up to expectation, even though it is indeed mixed blessing for Nigeria in the competition. Those expected to outshine others could not, while the others who are debutants made waves.
They did very well. They have made they're prepared, and they came here and proved that yes, they are really prepared for this competition.
I'm telling Nigeria that they should continue to pray for us, and I believe that we are going to do the country proud.
In all, and with 2 days to go, Nigeria has 3 gold, a silver, and 4 bronze medals.
The equipment we are using here is more than the one that we are using for.
We need to get home to start training earlier.
I think really made us to fall a bit short here is the equipment. They are using the latest facilities to play. That's the table, the flooring, the lighting, and that really affected us.
President, Nigerian Union in Japan wants more remuneration and facilities for the team. He believes Team Nigeria has potentials.
There's no way an athlete can do well without a good gym, without a good equipment, without good gadgets, without proper training facilities in the country. I know we have them many, but there are need for improvement.
Nigeria is now 31st on the medals table behind Algeria 25th and Tunisia 28th. South Africa, Morocco, Ethiopia, Egypt, Namibia, Kenya and Uganda are also on the medals table. China still leads with 72 gold now, while Great Britain is second with 36, Russian Paralympic Committee 32. From Tokyo, Femi Johnson, NTA News.
This Panorama this afternoon. Remember to be a star. Connect with NTA. Stand against rape and rapists. Good afternoon.
Everything is architected and designed by the Almighty.
Someone who is a Christian is someone who lives a life of Christ. Jesus Christ. And the life of Jesus Christ is a life of sacrifice.
Yes.
We want to talk about rights, there are obligations. I'm not saying that this government is a saint, it's very far from it. But there are things that we can do to make it better, and that's the challenge I'm throwing to you. You don't want to build this nation? I don't know where else you want to go. If I had a choice, I'll come back. When I stand outside and I hear what you have to say about this country that I know that I can die for as one, then I'm really sad because you're young. You have education, you have tools, you have a huge future ahead of you, and you're condemning yourself before you started on that journey. So please don't do that. Please don't.
Stop this senseless killing. All we need is one Nigeria.
I think we have come to the threshold of time when we need to seek for peace.
We need peace in this country. We need peace in Nigeria.
And together, we can pull through.
No matter where you come from.
Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba.
We cannot achieve a better Nigeria by fighting.
Let us stand together in brotherhood and solidarity and strive for peace.
And not because of their tribal or their religion or whatsoever background.
Da zaman lafiya da kwanciyar hankali a cikin ƙasar Najeriya.
Let us support the